Hey, Raul here for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we're going to take a close look at the Ampeg RB-115 Rocket Bass combo. If you're a bass player and you're looking at amplification, we basically have kind of two choices, either to go with a combo or to go with a head-cab arrangement. And there's advantages to both. In a lot of instances, combos are a great place to start when you're just beginning and you don't want to deal with cables going from your head to the cab. You don't know the right cab to go with the power that your head's putting out. And in a combo, it's all been figured out for you. So it's an excellent starting point. And they've come such a long way, offering a lot of additional features that make it even a great idea for the most seasoned bass player. Let's take a closer look. To start out with, this is one of 5 in the series where it goes as small as the RB-108 with 30 watts, and then it works up to the RB-110 that has 50 watts, RB-112 is 100 watts, the RB-115 is a 200 watt lightweight combo, and the RB-210 where you've got a whopping 500 watts. Next, when you look at this, this is classic look and feel for Ampeg. The first thing you notice is the checkered Tolex vinyl that is covering it, the vintage grill. Of course, you've got your nice Ampeg logo here. The grill cloth, this is just beautiful. You'll notice that they also put the protective, I'm going to say steel corner, so it helps protect those sharp angles from running into any damage. And it has little rubber feet on the bottom. Now, size-wise, this is 20 by 22 by 14 inches approximately. And this one, as a combo, you've got amp and speaker built in, is only 33.4 pounds. It's because this guy's packing a single 15-inch Eminence 8-ohm speaker. As we look at the features, the first thing we notice is on the left-hand side, 2 inputs. There's a minus 15 decibel and a 0 decibel. And the way this is set up, the minus 15 is for hotter basses, so some of your active instruments, and then 0 for passive. Now, a cool thing is you can actually use them both at the same time. So if you have a student-teacher kind of situation, you can have 2 basses plugged in at once. So that's pretty nice there. Next, we've got the Super Grit technology, and you've got, of course, the activating button on and off, and 2 control knobs to give you different levels of grit and level of this Super Grit. Next, we have the overall volume knob, and that again rotates kind of like a clock. And next to that, we've got 2 buttons, ultra high and ultra low. These are designed to give you boosts to either the high frequency with the ultra high or to the low end with that ultra low. Next, we've got a 3-band EQ with bass, mid-range, and treble. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then we've got a couple of 1/8 inch plugs. One is an output for your headphones. The other is an auxiliary input where you can run your MP3s, CD players, anything that uses that size of cable, you can do your input here. And then, of course, the power switch. When we look on the back side of this amp, we have the power cable AC line in. And then on the right-hand side, we've got that external speaker plug. It is clearly marked, especially with like a red surrounding, so that you know you don't confuse it with some of these other 1/4 inch size plugs. But this will give you 100 watts at 8 ohms. So you can run that external speaker through there. Next, there is a 1/4 inch for your SGT switch. If you have a foot switch, you want to run it from there. And it's my understanding that you could activate it directly if you want to use the foot switch and not have to reach over and push this button. Next, you've got 2 1/4 inch jacks for your effects loop, one in and one out. So if you've got your board all set up, just loop it in and you'll be good to go there. And then last but not least, it's got a balanced DI out. That's a XLR connection, so you can run that to front of house or you can run it to the console when you're recording. And it is a grounded DI, so this should work nicely in many, many circumstances. Let me tell you a little bit about my sound chain that we're going to use to try the Ampeg Rocket Bass combo. I'm going to use two basses. I've got my 1970s Fernandez, which is a passive, my P bass, and I'm going to use a Schecter Stiletto jazz bass that's active. The reason I want to try them both is because that Stiletto's got a hot 18 volt active system in it, and I want to kind of put that to the test. I've got Diodario XL strings on the Schecter. I'm going to be going with my DR Legend flat wounds on the Fernandez. With that, we're going to run with Astro cable from the Schecter, Monster cable on the Fernandez into the amp, and I think I'm going to try using the attack pick for some bits with the gritty part to see how that sounds as well. All of that is going to go from the DI out of the back of the amp into the camera. So let's see how it sounds. Okay, so let's talk about my findings. Basically, what I've tried to do is give you a sampling of, with both a passive and an active bass, how all the features on the RB-115, the kind of sounds they offer you. Now, there's so many possibilities you could adjust in a multitude of ways and certainly get sounds that I didn't. And I didn't change any of the settings on my basses either, so I left them as they were and then just tried to give you these small samples. I picked a pattern that was, I know, a little repetitive. I'm not auditioning for any bands or anything. I just wanted to try to do the same thing so you could hear what the sound was doing. And by doing that, you can apply it to your style, your kind of music, thinking, oh, what if these notes were to fit in what I'm doing? So that's the kind of sample that I was going for. We used the direct feed into here to give you none of the ambient sound and try to give you what the front of house would be hearing if you were playing in a live venue. Among the advantages of a combo like this, with it being all built in, it's a decent weight, it's not very heavy for a combo. I had a 100-watt one that was almost as heavy as this, and I've got 200 watts here. It's plenty loud, puts out a lot of sound, so that is a great advantage. This is a great amp for people that are looking for this kind of amplifier and not needing to expand out, although you do have lines out that you can use. Other factors that I think are important, this is a very reasonable price point. If you are starting and want to hear yourself very nicely, this is a good option. I did find that I enjoyed the way that my passive bass sounded better than my active bass on the same amp with the same settings. So my suggestion would be, give it a try with your bass and see how it sounds. If the sounds that are coming out are registering with you and you like how they sound, then this is the right amp for you. So this has been Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, the Ampeg Rocket Bass RB-115. If you need more information about this, go to ampeg.com.